Greetings, friends and followers. This is Nurses Talking. I am Dale Barzy. As always, if you like what you see and hear, subscribe. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Here on Nurses Talking, we speak to nurses anywhere in the world and at any stage in their nursing journey. Today, I have the very great pleasure of welcoming Maria Jasanya out of New York, USA. Maria is a nurse. She's more than 15 years experience. She's a certified nurse educator. She's nurse adjunct faculty. She's a freelance writer. She's got Write RN LLC. She's a certified nurse midwife. She's a nurse residency coordinator. She's a nurse continuing education enrollment specialist. So she wears multiple hats. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you so much, Dale, for having me on your podcast today.
It is my absolute pleasure. So, despite all of these hats that you wear, I want to come right back to the basic stuff and ask you what made you become a nurse?
Thank you for asking that question. One of those people who always knew that I wanted to become a nurse since elementary school. My mom is a nurse as well. She's retired now, probably like 10 years. And
Uh-huh.
I would say that she kind of introduced me to nursing as a career option, but never forced me into
Mm-hmm.
that area. So we're from Nigeria. I hate the word, but first generation immigrants here. So like most immigrant family, you're not really sure on like what high school, college your child that has a particular interest should go to. So my mother asked around and she told people that, my daughter wants to be a nurse. Is there anything that you would recommend? And people who she spoke to recommended Clara Barton High School located in Brooklyn, New York. And that's where I started my nursing journey, where
Mm-hmm.
I completed high school courses and LPN courses as well. I was able to graduate at 18 years old and took the NCLEX exam and passed and was able to practice as an LPN.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you had this role model in your mother, and you had this early contact. I mean, she actually did some research and found where you should go to get the best start. So I have to ask you now, what challenged you?
You mean what challenges did I have? Or
Yeah, so you got into nursing early. First of all, you're an 18-year-old LPN. And you're doing, nursing classes in high school and all of that. So what were the challenges for you?
I mean, in high school, it was challenging because, like, when I first came into the program, I was an honor student. So before I decided to take the nursing classes, it was between taking like AP Bio, AP Calculus to again offset some of the college expenses to take nursing. And I
Yeah.
remember speaking to my guidance counselor, and she said, "Well, which one do you want?" And I'm like, "I know I always wanted to become a nurse."
Uh-huh.
And if that's why you came to Clara Bar and pursue that. But again, as a high school student, I couldn't, join a lot of activities. I didn't do track. I wasn't on chorus or any of that because I was literally juggling high school credits and nursing credits at the same time. So it was definitely a sacrifice, but a sacrifice that even at that time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so when you got into nursing, really, on the job, was it what you thought it was going to be?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's interesting because this is some of the things that I teach when I do the preceptor workshop at my full-time job. It's a terminology that was framed by Kramer talking about reality shock. So
Mm-hmm.
you think that nursing will be, I think that the doctors will respect me, the patients will always say thank you, myself and the PCTs will get along. I'll be able to easily delegate to them as I learned in school, and the NCLEX tells me to delegate. But in reality, it's not that easy. Because imagine, for me, it was 18 years old as a nurse. And for some people who they go to college and they become an RN at like 21, many times the PCTs and the ancillary staff that you're delegating to are like 40,
Way
50,
older than
60
you.
years old. So it can be very, very challenging. But what I tell and what I did and what I tell the new nurses to do is to try to form a professional bond with everybody on the unit. So meaning when you go in the unit, I said hi to everybody from as soon
Yes.
as I walk into the building to when I'm on the floor. Security guard, dietary, housekeeping, any person. I say hi to. Then with the ancillary staff that I work with, I would tell them like, good morning. Okay, we're gonna have so and so rooms together. Let me know when you're going in because maybe you might need help doing something and I can help you. I'll let you know when I'm going in. So if I need help, you'll be there as well. Especially with they have to clean a patient that might be a heavy patient. But that would be the best time for me to do my back assessment, skin
Yeah.
assessment, check pressure injury. So letting them know that they are an integral part of the team, I think helps to build that teamwork. Another thing too that I found very useful is just saying hi to people, learning
Yeah.
their names and learning a little bit about them. So everything is not, can you? No, that's not their name. So
Yeah.
it's, hi Dale, how you doing today? Okay,
Hmm.
for this patient, they need their finger stick done at 7 o'clock. But another time I might say, oh, hi, Dale. How was your weekend? I hope your weekend was fine. So it's not every time that I'm calling their name, I'm asking them to do something
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
really trying to find a good teamwork relationship with them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and so, as you're talking about communicating effectively with your fellow staff members, what that actually also translates into is communicating very well with the patients you're taking care of and having them do the same.
Oh,
Having
yes.
them
Oh,
do the
yes.
same.
Tell the
Yeah.
patients that pretty much anybody that's walking in the room, they should know
Mhm.
who the person is, their name and their title.
Yeah.
We as professionals always have our ID badge where the patients can be able to see. Some
Yes.
people, depending on their previous experiences, depending
Mhm.
on
Yeah.
their culture, they might think, oh no, she's the nurse. Oh no, she's the doctor. Whatever
Yeah.
they say goes. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, you have to speak up. If you don't understand something, the doctor comes with medical jargon. Ask, can you please explain it in a way that I can understand? Or you know what? I know English. However, my primary language is Spanish, and I'd rather you use a
I
interpreter
try to
so that I
interpret.
can understand better. So, really advocating for our patients to speak up is very, very important. As
Absolutely.
a nurse, I always tell the nurses that that's one of, I mean, nurses wear many hats, but that's one that I hold so dearly as being a patient advocate.
Yep. That's a huge one. That's a huge one. So you you're a midwife and you had a particular interest in maternal child health and all of that. And so I, I want to know, you're also an educator, you're a writer. And so how do these experiences translate into your educator writer hats? Um, you know, what did that bring to this?
Another thing that interests me in maternal child health is doing a lot of patient education, a lot of advocacy, and you're also learning about the person's culture. Culture plays a lot into how people make healthcare
Yeah.
decisions, especially when it's surrounding birth or death,
Okay.
or what they're going to eat, or who makes their decision. Culture plays a lot into it. So being in that field is what began to build my interest in patient education because you're educating them about everything, what to expect. They coming into the hospital. What symptoms should they report to the doctor? What they're going to do when they go home. They're going to
Hmm.
manage their care, breastfeeding, going back to work, pumping, healthcare, everything. So I was constantly educating people. And again, when
Hmm.
you learn about education, we learned that, okay, when you teach or when you write, it should be at a fifth grade reading level. So as a bedside nurse, I began to learn the importance of patient education. Also, too, as a bedside nurse, when, they have a lot of quality improvement projects, and I'm someone that's like, okay, no problem. There's a project that the unit wants to incorporate. Okay. So there was one at one of the hospitals that I used to work with in Manhattan where they wanted to reduce infant fall because the mothers are tired. They could put the
Yeah.
baby in the bed with them, baby were falling. So that's when I began to, again, with patient education, looking at numbers, began to develop this interest again in educating, knowing the effectiveness of your teaching. So little did I know I was making steps and steps to where I am today. And I, of course, got a master's in a degree, and that's where I did midwifery because I said, you know what, I've been in women's health for now 2 years full time. So you know what? Let me really begin to know this as an advanced beginner. Then when I graduated, and actually before I passed my boards, opportunities came for me to become a clinical professor. This is great. I get to teach new nurses as well as teach the patients. So
Yeah.
that was how I started my profession into academia. Before then, opportunities arose for me to become an adjunct. So again, all these things began to add more. And as I got more into it, the interest developed. Because I told myself, you know what? If I am going to be teaching, I want to know the principles of teaching. I want to
Yeah.
know effective way to teach. And that's what led me to get my second master in nursing education for patient education and more so for teaching nursing students.
Mhm,
Then with
mhm.
patient education, that's how the nurse writing came. Because sometimes I was reviewing articles, journals, and I then began to write for nurses.
Finances.
The medical revision actually started was because it was in a continuing thing of education. It's just not education verbally, but it's also education in written work. So it's like
Yeah.
everything tied together.
You see, this is one of the things I love. I love, love, love about this profession. It is just so fast. And things just weave themselves into one another and you can just go anywhere. It is just so cool. I can't think of anything else that is as cool as that.
Audrey, I love nursing because it's like you just never know where it will lead. I would have never thought that I would be a professor. It's just an idea that popped in my mind. I went to Hunter College where I graduated my bachelor's. And before we graduated, the dean at the time advised us two things. One, go to med search first. And I was like, oh no, I think I had enough of that working in the nursing home. And that
Yes.
was not my interest. Women's health was my interest. And the second thing that she recommended was come back to teach for Hunter College. I said, you know what?
Mhm.
It's an idea that I actually might do. And then fast forward about 10 years, I started working at Hunter College as a clinical professor. Again, you have these ideas that come and you're like, okay, I'll take this opportunity. Even my opportunity as writing, I
Mhm.
didn't know I wanted to become a medical writer, wasn't something that I even knew about. But an opportunity came for me to like review job description, finding. And I said, okay, no problem. I can do that. I know how to read, how to research. And
Mhm.
that's how I got my foot in the door into medical writing.
And you see, here's the thing. So many times as you were talking to me, you said, and the opportunity came, and the opportunity came, and the opportunity came. And very often we don't pay attention to those opportunities as they come along. I mean, oh, I have the job, I have this, I don't need that, I don't have time for this. And so many times, if you just paid attention, it leads so many ways in so many different directions, opens so many doors. So
Absolutely.
you're no longer at the bedside. You're doing so many things. What advice? There are a lot of nurses who are kind of stepping away from the bedside. So what advice do you want to give someone who wants to step away from the bedside, but not really sure where to go?
I would say the first thing is think about what your interest is. Next thing that I will say to think about is the trajectory of that interest.
Yeah.
Because, and again, if people want to be like 65 and working at the bedside, that's for them. But if you know that's not for you, you want to think about what career options in this area of nursing would there be? So, like for me, for nursing educator, I could do this till I'm 60 years old if I wanted to. I could be a professor, which I am now. I'm a professor at
Mm-hmm.
an online school. I can decide I want to retire fully from my full time job
Yeah.
when the time comes and only teach online because I have set up myself in an area that can be the trajectory of my career.
Mm-hmm.
I can
Mm-hmm.
decide, eventually I want to have a doctorate and do education and research. But again, I have set up myself as going in for
Mm-hmm.
education, becoming a CNE, working at a college. I mean, granted, I have to go for my PhD, but I have set myself in that pathway to be able to get there. So that's what I said. That's the second thing. Develop your interests and think about the trajectory of your career.
Yeah. So here's the thing. As an educator, what would you say what do you believe that today's nursing students need most that perhaps wasn't available to you
Mm.
as a student?
Oh, what do they need most? I think they need to improve or develop that inner passion back to patient care. And I think that's a lot of what we're losing. We have a lot of, the TikTok nurses, and nursing is luxury, which I mean, I don't really think so. We have the traveling nurses that's booming, and we have the med spa. And again, I'm not knocking all this, but again, back to the basic principle of caring for patients and not just the money of it all. I literally see nurses that they haven't even been hired as nurses yet. And they're already thinking about traveling nursing, CRNA, no, not, yeah, CRNA or med spa. And you don't even know how to do a physical assessment. And you don't know how to communicate with your patient. So, what is that telling me? That's telling me that you're after the money and you're
Yes.
not after actually taking care of patients. I had this one student that asked me for a letter of recommendation. And I usually give. So I asked, when did you graduate? They just graduated, just took their NCLEX and passed. And they wanted me to write them a letter of recommendation for nurse practitioner school without ever working as a bedside nurse. And I told the student, sorry, I can't do it. It's against my morals. I feel that people should work at least 2 years at a bedside first before going off to nurse practitioner school. So again, we have nurses, unfortunately, that is like they're just running after the money that nursing offers and not really having that care, compassionate, empathetic,
Yeah.
culturally sensitive part of nursing that we learn as a foundation. Nurses are still voted one of the most trusted profession, and that's an honor that we should cherish and form
Yeah.
those relationships or those rapport that we learn in nursing school and
Yeah.
not chase after the money. And every time I have an opportunity to speak on podcasts, I tell people, please don't be fooled by all the things that I'm doing, the activities, the projects, the credentials, the titles. I am not running after money at all. But once you're passionate about what you're doing, the money will find you. And
Yeah.
that's what has been happening to me.
Yes, the money will absolutely find you. And the thing
Mhm.
about nursing is that what I don't think is conveyed in these TikTok videos and whatever is that nursing is really hard. It's
Yeah.
really hard. So if you get paid well to do it, trust me, you deserve to be paid well to do it. I don't think any nurse has ever been paid adequately, no matter how well paid you are for what you have done. However, however, you need to hone that craft.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it's not just, okay, so I passed the exam, so I'm good to go. You're just barely getting your big toe in the door.
Exactly. For the first year, pretty much. For the first year of nursing, you're learning so much. So I think again we need to get back to that basic foundation of caring for patients.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's something that I think that we really, really need to uh develop uh because I see sometimes that we're losing that. We're losing that.
Yeah. And I'm happy
So
because as my role as like the nurse residency coordinator at my full-time job,
mhm,
seeing them in that first year, that's still a part that I could continue to instill in them and
mhm,
instill principles of not just taking things at face value, but asking questions. And one thing that
yes.
I always tell them is I do not like the word non-compliant. What does non-compliant
Neither do
mean?
I.
Because I tell them, what does non-compliant
100%.
mean? And I say, what? Always take an extra a minute or two to ask the patient why are they not taking their medication
Yeah.
or their treatment. So a better terminology is non-adherence. But ask. They might say, what? I know the doctor told me to take my blood pressure medication twice a day, but I can't afford it. It's expensive. So instead of taking it twice a day, I take it once a day. Well, now we know why their blood pressure is not controlled
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
they're not able to find nutritious meals and this is why they're eating fast food and which is not
Hmm.
helping them. But again, if you take that 1 minute maybe you can speak to the doctor to get them another
They're
medication that
different.
might be better, or as
Hmm.
good, but cheaper. Maybe you can refer them to soup kitchens or to resources that they may be able to get nutritious meals. But don't just stop and say, oh, this person is not compliant. We
Right.
need to move away from that terminology.
So, what's next for you, Maria?
I recently applied for an internship
Uh-huh.
in Nurses and Media, which was founded by Nurse Approved with Alice Benjamin and
Okay, yeah,
her Nurse
yeah,
Approved organization. Yeah, so I'm
yeah.
actually looking forward
Of
to
Miss
it. I
Allen.
believe the program is going to start July 1st, which has to do with nurses and media. So, again, that became an interest because of being on podcasts. So
Yes.
now I am interested in nurses and media. So that's an interest of mine. Continue working on projects, and I hope one day to eventually for a PhD in nursing. That's my ultimate goal.
All right. Go for it. Go for it. So I have one last question. It's a question that I always ask every single person. Two-part question. What does self-care mean to you? What do you do to take care of you?
Care to me is pretty much doing anything that's of interest to me. So whether it's reading, listening to music, I try to get a massage every month. Sometimes I'm not that great with it. Even if it's painting my own toenails, I love going to see Broadway plays. That's what self-care is to me. Like just getting down to what does Maria actually enjoy when she
Mhm.
is not working.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. Maria, thank you so, so much for this conversation. Any gems you'd like to leave us with before we go?
No, I mean to summarize it all, I would just say always don't be scared to take opportunities as they come. Opportunities is also a way of us learning. As
Hmm.
nursing, we always learn that it's a profession in which is a lifelong learning journey. And the opportunities you take, you might be scared at first to take them, but it will help you broaden your wings as well as you will continue to develop yourself because you will want to learn about it. So I always encourage people don't be scared to take opportunities.
And on that note, don't be scared to take opportunities because you know what? Sometimes there's a little fear there, but do it anyway.
Yeah.
Do it
Yes,
anyway.
yes.
Thank you, Maria. I so appreciated this conversation. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Bye bye.